Hey Active Badgers, we're gonna go through a home personal training workout. So whenever you're ready, follow along, we're gonna get right into the warm up. First we're gonna do some neck rolls. So what I wanna see is you tuck your chin down, bring your head around, back and over again. We're gonna go for 10 reps to the right. That is 2, 3. Whenever you're doing this movement, I want you to really pay attention to what you're feeling. And if at any point you feel a pinching or a blocking sensation, make sure you stop. Go back the way you came, come to a relaxed position. And I think one more will do it. We're gonna go back the other way, so pausing forward, coming back around. Halfway. Shouldn't be going extremely fast here, but you can get to a comfortable pace. Awesome, good. We're gonna go right into our shoulder roll. So what I wanna see now is think about bringing the whole shoulder joint back, up and around, opening up the upper back, opening up the chest when we pull our shoulders back. We go 10 each direction. So we're gonna go 10 forward now. Good, and let's reverse it. Awesome, awesome. So what I want to see now is we're going to translate it down to our arms. Reaching our arms out in front of us. I want you to swing them down past the thighs, back, opening up the chest, bring it around to the sky. And again, we're gonna go 10 here as well. Make sure we're opening up the chest, reaching big behind us, reaching big to the sky. When you're done there, let's go ahead and reverse it. 10 here as well. Awesome. We're gonna go hugs now, opening up the chest, reaching our arms over and back. You can alternate which arm goes on top. We're just gonna do 10 reps here, 5 each arm, if that helps you think about it a little bit better. Awesome. Vertical swings, palms facing back behind us. One arm goes up, one arm goes down, 10 swings. Awesome, good job, y'all. So what we're gonna get into next is a little bit more of our full body, more dynamic based movements. So take your time with these. If you ever need to pause the video to kind of figure out where you are and complete the movements, feel free to do so. So what I want to see first is an inchworm. So what we're going to do is feet are going to be square, meaning toes are in line with one another. We don't have one foot in front of the other. And what I want to see is you're going to aim to keep your knees as straight as possible. What that means is as we go through this movement, and you'll see what I mean in a second, as we go through this movement, if you need to bend your knees, you definitely can. Our goal is to keep them as straight as our body will allow. So I want to see first, knees relatively straight. Hands are gonna go to the floor. You can reach with your fingertips. Coming down, reaching out. I'm gonna adjust a little bit so I stay in camera frame. What I wanna see here is you can allow the hips to fall to the floor, chest stays up, come back to neutral, push our hips in the sky, come back down. Walk our feet or our hands, whatever space allows, back to one another. We'll stand up. That's 1 rep. We got 5. Let's go ahead and complete those. Walking out, breathing with each rep. Dip, pike, back to neutral. Walk, feet and hands together to meet in the middle. 2. Keep it up, y'all, looks good. If you ever need to pause it to practice the movement a little bit more, because this will come in handy later, please feel free to do so. If you would like, you can do these walking. You do not need to stay in one position. All these workouts today, all these exercises today will be structured so you can do them from home in limited space. Focusing on our breathing. Make sure we're breathing in and out consistently with each movement. Awesome, great job, y'all. So what we're gonna move to next is a lunge and twist. If at any moment you need to take a few extra seconds to breathe, please feel free to do so. We're usually gonna roll through the warm-up movements relatively quickly with very structured breaks built into the workout after this. So with our lunge and rotate, what we wanna see is a big, exaggerated step out. You're gonna end up sort of like a triangle here, both legs straight. And what I want you to think about is keeping our chest up, and whatever knee is behind us, we're gonna bend that knee and allow it to come just off the floor. When we do that, we should have a very tall, vertical front shin. Our back knee should be about 90 degrees bent with our weight centered between both legs. Once we're in this lunge position, I wanna see a full rotation and then step out of it. One rotation to the right, one rotation to the left, step out. After that, you'll go right into the other leg. So you're just gonna step out again, dropping that knee, rotate, rotate, step out. So we're gonna move on to next, I'll call them walking pigeons. So if anybody's ever done yoga and may have done the pigeon stretch, we're gonna turn that into a dynamic movement now. So I'm gonna show you from the side again. What I'd like to see is think about placing your right ankle just above your left knee and sit your hips back, gently pushing down on the knee, come back up to a standing position. You can do these walking if you would like. So I'd take a step, push down from there. If we're doing them stationary, find wherever you're most comfortable. I'd like to tell people to fixate on an object, usually 6 or 7 feet in front of them, maybe straight ahead, and try not to look away from that object. That'll really help with your balance. What we wanna see here is 5 pigeons on each leg. That's 2 each. And 3, 3, doing a great job, y'all. Still warming up, getting our body going, ready for some very dynamic movements to come after this. Excellent. Nice job on the pigeons. So what we're gonna go into next is another single leg movement. It's gonna be a side lunge or a side squat, whatever you prefer, but we're gonna add a reach to it. So what that looks like is I'm gonna take a big wide step out, placing my weight on my right leg, dropping my hips back to the wall behind me, slightly down as if I was maybe sitting on a step stool. We're gonna drop in. If our torso comes forward a little bit here, I'll show you from the side, stepping out, dropping hips back. If my torso comes forward a little bit here, that's okay, as long as my spine is neutral or back flat. What we wanna see here is while staying in the squat, hinge over a little bit more, reach for the floor, stay in the squat, reach up to the sky, press out of that. And from there, I'm working with a little bit of limited space, but from there you'd wanna just simply stand up and shift over to the other leg. Reach and reach. Coming up, reach and reach, okay? We're gonna do 5 each leg here as well. That is 2. 3 and 3. Trying to keep our heel on the floor, pushing that weight back. You really want the whole foot on the floor, but if your heels are rising up, that's something we really want to try. Push our weight a little bit back to try and avoid. How low you get, how high you reach, is totally up to you and whatever your body's comfortable with. Awesome, great job on those. Let's wrap those up. Take a few seconds. Last exercise of our warm up, bodyweight squat, classic. This is also gonna come up in today's workout. So with our bodyweight squat, what you wanna see is feet about hip or shoulder width apart. There can be a little bit of variation there. That's gonna be to the individual. Toes are usually gonna be somewhere straight forward or slightly turned out. Again, whatever feels most comfortable to you. Just try to make sure that once we're in the squat, we're not moving as we're executing the squat. If you feel like you need to adjust, please stand up and then adjust then and go into your squat. With our squat, once we found our position, what we wanna think about is if there was a step stool between our feet, just a little bit behind us, and we're gonna try and sit down on that step stool. So I'm gonna first engage my hips by sending them back, and then I'm gonna proceed to lower my hips down while keeping my chest up. So what that looks like, you might hinge a little bit over here too. That's also gonna be the individual. Break, sit, come back up. Notice how my chest, I'm really trying to keep that up throughout the movement as my hips go down. You can put your hands forward, up. Some people bring them into the chest. All of these are acceptable. What we wanna see now is 10 bodyweight squats. As you're squatting, please continue. What we wanna see is knees in line with toes. So I'm thinking about my kneecap and lining it up with the middle of my feet as I squat down. Really fighting to keep those out throughout the entire movement. Again, heels on the ground. Try to keep your toes down as well, pushing through the whole foot. Make sure we're inhaling on the way down with these, exhaling on the way up. I think y'all are a few reps ahead of me, so let's go ahead and call it here. Great squatting, y'all. Let's get into the workout. This first circuit is gonna consist of 3 exercises, and we're gonna go through 3 rounds of each of these exercises. The exercises will be a push-up, an inchworm with a tap, and bodyweight squats. What I'm gonna go through first are all the different exercises, and then we're gonna go into the circuit itself. So with our push-up, what I wanna see is we're gonna get into a really good plank position. And what I mean by that is shoulders pulled down and back, abs tight, trying to create a straight line between our shoulders, our hips, and our knees, okay? This position might look slightly different for the individual, but that's fine. With our push-up, I want you to lower your chest until it's a couple inches off the floor, and then push back up. If you would like, the other option would be to bring the knees to the ground. Same thing happens though. We still want a straight line between our shoulders, our hips, and our knees. What a lot of folks will want to tend to do is have their hips back like so. So I want you to be very aware of that and make sure we push our hips forward to the ground. It's gonna incline our chest a little bit more. Same push up from there. Last thing I wanna make note of, during my time as a trainer, what I've seen a lot of folks wanna bring their elbows out as they're doing their push-ups. I wanna encourage everyone to draw their elbows in a little bit, and I like to think about maybe pointing my elbows more slightly to the wall behind me. So for example, if I were to turn to the same angle, really focusing in on my shoulders and elbows here, what I've seen a lot of folks wanna do is come out like so, okay? Show you from a different angle. This is where a lot of folks will be. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is instead of pointing our elbows out to the side, we're gonna draw them in, point them slightly behind us, okay? Same thing, no matter what your push-up variation is. With our inchworm, we wanna have our knees as straight as possible. We're gonna walk ourselves out. And with our inchworm and taps, what we're gonna do is take our opposite hand and touch the opposite foot, pushing down into the ground. Reach, reach, reach. Come back to the plank, push into the ground, reach, and then walk ourselves back up. Awesome. Bodyweight squat. This one has no change from the warm-up itself. What I'd like to see, again, feet, hip, maybe shoulder width apart, feet either turn straight or turn slightly outwards. Make sure our kneecaps stay in line with the middle of our foot, dropping our hips down as if we're sitting on a step stool. Again, with this exercise, how low you get is gonna be totally to the individual. What I would encourage is to get as much depth as you can while maintaining neutral spine and good knee to foot alignment. If at any point you drop in and you get this low, then our back starts to round, we might want to stop just before we hit that point. Flexibility is something that we can build on over time, but for the purposes of this workout, let's just stick with where our body feels the most comfortable. All right, everyone. Now that we've introed the movements, we're actually gonna go through the workout. This first circuit is gonna consist of 3 exercises, and we're gonna go through 3 rounds of each of these exercises. And so what that'll look like is in the first round, you've got 30 seconds of work, then we're gonna rest for 20 seconds. In the second round, you've got 20 seconds of work, then we're gonna rest for 20 seconds. And in the third round, we're gonna have 10 seconds of work, and you're gonna rest for 20 seconds. I'm gonna use my phone to time my sets. And in 3, 2, 1, we've got push-ups. Inhaling as we're coming down, exhaling as we're pushing up. Similar to the squat, if your push-up ends you up here, a little bit higher off the ground, that is okay. Just make sure we're pushing, and I would say go as low as your body will allow. Got a few more seconds here. 2 and 1. Awesome. Going right into our rest set. You can stand, you can kneel, whatever you prefer. Take a second to breathe here. Really embrace the moment. Next up, we've got our inchworm and taps. So if you need to adjust your room or whatever space you're in, feel free to do so. Now that we're done with our push-ups, we got inchworms next. So starting in 3, 2, 1. Standing up tall, knees as straight as possible. Walking our hands out. Really thinking about pushing into the floor as we send our hips up to complete the rep. And as always, try to find a rhythm of breathing here. About 10 seconds left. Great job. Rolling into our 20-second rest break. Next up, we've got bodyweight squats. Remember, feet should be about hip or shoulder width apart. Toes can be straight or slightly turned out, whichever one works best for you. Most folks will be able to tell as they descend into their squat if they need to adjust. If you ever feel a pinching sensation, excessive tightness, things of that nature, feel free to make an adjustment. Going into our squats in 2, 1. Feet shoulder width, keeping our chest up. How low you go, it's totally up to you. Let's go to wherever our body will allow. If you've seen somebody else doing this exercise, their squat might be a little bit deeper or higher up than yours, and that is fine. 10 seconds. Keep it up, y'all, 3 seconds. And relax, nice job. Still got a 20-second rest break here. We're gonna start the circuit back over with our push-ups, and now we're in a 20-second work set. Awesome, y'all. I'm gonna give a couple progressions in this set. So usually, as time gets lower, we can usually raise our intensity. If you wanna stick with the same exercise, that is great. If you wanna switch to some of the options that we had previously stated, that is also awesome. All right, going into our push-ups. So, another option for our push-up, lower our chest to the ground all the way, pick the hands slightly up, and then press off from there. It's called a hand release push-up. Works from the knees as well. About 3 seconds. And into a 20-second rest break. Reminder, next up we got inchworms with the taps. With the taps, if you ever need to, you can actually cut those out. That is another option. Or we can stay in the plank and just do the taps. Those are all acceptable options for this workout. Got 5 seconds, we're getting into it. Here we go. Pushing into the floor as our hips come up. Really trying to touch those toes. If you can't reach, that's okay. That's what we're striving for. Keep up the great work, y'all. Excellent work. Next up, we got squats again. I'll give you a different option for these as well. So we talked before about different depths, how low or high you're squatting. Those are all great. Another option we can utilize is a jump squat. And so what that jump squat might be is same positioning, squat in, hop just off the ground, land into the squat. Our workout's rolling. Let's go ahead and transition right in. You don't have to jump like Michael Jordan here, just getting barely off the ground. Think about landing softly, absorbing the landing as we squat. You might find yourself squatting a little bit more shallow with the jump squat. That's fine as well. Keeping our chest up, spine neutral. Let's go ahead and finish up there. Awesome work, y'all. 20 seconds break. Going into our last set, really short, really quick. If you haven't tried any of those other options that I just delivered, feel free to try them here. If you want to stick with what you've been doing, that's also great. We're gonna jump right into our 10-second set, starting with our push-ups in 3, 2, 1. Let's get all the reps in that we can. You can stick to the hand release push-ups if you wish, or be trying them for the first time. And relax. Awesome, still got a 20-second break here. We wanna try and push the intensity a little bit in these shorter sets, but as much as our body will allow with good technique, of course. Got about 10 seconds left. Getting right into our inchworms. Standing up nice and tall. And here we go. Last rep here. And relax. Good job, 20 seconds here. Last one is gonna be our squats. Again, if you haven't tried the jump squats before and you're able to, please feel free to do so. If you want to stick with the regular squats, that's also completely fine. Got about 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Think about landing softly. 3 seconds. And relax. Good job, y'all. All right, y'all, welcome back. Great job on that first circuit. We're gonna go into circuit 2. Circuit 2 is gonna be the exact same format. So I'm gonna intro the movements really quickly. The first exercise is a lunge, just like similar to the one we did in the warm-up. There's no twist with this one. I really want you to focus on driving your feet through the floor. So we're gonna take that big step out, bend the back knee, just off the floor, press out of it. If you've got space to walk, you can. If not, we're just gonna alternate back and forth throughout the exercise. What I see a lot of folks want to do is when they step into the lunge, they're going to come forward, put all their weight on this front foot. The front foot might be taking most of the weight, but what we really want to focus on is staying really tall in our lunge and utilizing that back leg a little bit as it comes down closer to the floor. Awesome. Second exercise is going to be a hamstring bridge. And so this one's a little bit slower. You're going to be on the floor, on your back. And so what I'd like to see you do is lie down. Think about pushing your belly button to your spine. So it's gonna create a little bit of tension in the abs. We're gonna have our feet, or excuse me, our heels close to us, knees bent about 90 degrees, a little bit tighter, a little bit further out is okay. You can place your hands on the floor if you would like. Belly button down, hips slightly off the floor. And you're gonna think about walking your heels out, step by step. How far out you go is up to you and what you feel comfortable with. The furthest we'll go is legs straight. Keeping tension in the abs, hips just off the floor. You wanna take 2 to 3, maybe even 4 steps if you wanna take a little bit longer to get your heels all the way out. Throughout the whole exercise, heels down, toes up. Awesome. Last exercise, will still be on your back. It's called a dead bug. So same thing as far as belly button into spine to create tension. You're gonna have your legs up and your hands up. With our hands, we're thinking about wrist over elbow, over shoulder, so in a straight line. If you wanna point at the ceiling, that always helps. Second piece is our legs. You wanna think about knees over hips. A lot of folks will bring them in here because it might be a little bit more comfortable, but we really want to challenge the core there and bring our legs out, okay? If you bring your heels down, that might help a little bit. Generally, our start point's gonna be with the 90-degree bend here as well. Each rep's gonna be opposite legs. So we're gonna start with our right arm and our left leg. Right arm's gonna point to the wall behind me. Left toe's gonna point to the wall, out to the side. Bring them back to center, opposite sides. Back to center, opposite sides. Trying to move those limbs in unison at the same time, keeping our hands and our heels off the ground when we're extended. Great job, y'all. 30 seconds of work starting off, right? Getting into our lunges in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and get up there. Great job, y'all. Staying tall, pushing into the floor, finding our balance. Notice I might have lost mine a little bit there. I started looking around. That same trick of staring at one object and keeping your gaze there helps a lot. We got about 10 seconds left. Hands can go where you need them to. And relax, good job. 20 seconds of rest here. Gonna be on our back now. Going into our hamstring bridge. Remember with our hamstring bridge, trying to keep the core really tight and trusting ourselves, being really comfortable in trusting our hamstrings to do what they need to do. And 2, 1, getting on our back and getting started. Hands down, heels down, hips just off the floor, walking out. Shouldn't be the fastest movement we've done today. Some folks might be a little bit quicker than others. That's okay. We really want to take our time in this movement. Not really worried about the number of reps we get, more so the quality, very much above all else. I'm gonna check the time. Just a little bit over there. Getting into our rest set, 20 seconds. Next up, dead bugs. We're still on our back. Remember, knees above hips, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are also in line. 10 seconds of rest here. Same as the last piece. When we get into the shorter sets, I'll give a couple progressions that you might want to utilize in order to change up the intensity that you might be feeling. And we're getting started. Dead bugs starting in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in with each rep. Big inhale as we reach. Exhale as we pull back in. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we pull back in. Make sure that belly button is pressed down into our spine, keeping the abs tight. Less than 10 seconds left. And relax. Great job, everyone. Going into our 20-second rest break, and we're gonna start over with our sets of 20 seconds of work. Okay, got lunges in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and begin. As you're working, I want you to hear me out. We've got another option here. Getting into our split stance, you can actually jump out of this and land into each lunge position. Torso stays tall. Couple seconds left. And relax. Great job, y'all. And we got our hamstring bridges next after our 20-second break. If you want, you can go ahead and find yourself in your starting position. 10 seconds left. Three, 2, and 1. Hips up. 20 seconds of work beginning. As we extend out, Try to reach a little bit further here if you can. No matter how far out you make it, trying to keep our hips off the ground at all times. If you ever need to, you can switch these over to full hip bridges. And we're in our rest set now. 20 seconds, we're back to our dead bugs. With our dead bugs, I want you to think about maybe having both legs and arms go at the same time. Really important to keep tight here. Bring them out, nothing touches, and back in. And we're rolling. 20 seconds of work. And relax. Great job, everyone. 20-second break into our 10-second sets. Couple seconds left into our lunges in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Starting them off. Gonna move quick here. A few seconds left already. And you can relax. 20-second break. We're into our hamstring bridges next. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hips up, toes up. Might only get a couple reps in here. That is okay. And relax. 20 seconds. Got our dead bugs next. It's gonna be a quick one. Really try and focus on bringing the navel into the spine here and keeping the abs tight. Three seconds, 2, 1, here we go. And good work, y'all. Excellent job there. We're gonna transition straight into another 2-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll intro the last finisher circuit. Welcome back, everyone. Great job on the first 2 circuits so far. Really proud of you. Glad to have you here and glad we're still engaged and having fun. Our final circuit is gonna be what I'd like to call a finisher. It's gonna be based off the reps that you complete. We're gonna start 3 different exercises at 5 reps each. And then we're gonna switch to 4 for each exercise, 3 for each exercise, 2 for each, and then 1 for each. Gonna challenge you cardiovascularly, make sure we're pushing it. Ideally, there's minimal rest here. As always, you take as much rest as you need in order to complete the movements well. Awesome. So the first movement's gonna be a burpee, classic. What I wanna see is hands to the floor, feet push back into our plank. Now you got an option here to come straight back up or bring your chest to the floor for the push-up. Feet back underneath you, maybe hip width apart just outside of, stand up. Usually we're gonna have a slight jump at the top. There's no need to jump as high as you can, but if you can just get off the ground, hips forward, hands above you, we'll finish out with that. Next exercise is gonna be mountain climbers. So with our mountain climbers, it involves both sides of our body. So if we're on sets of 5, for example, we want 5 each leg. So you're gonna end up doing 10 movements total. With the mountain climber, what we're gonna see is gonna go back into this plank position. If I was to break it down slowly, knee is gonna come up to same side elbow, as close as we can get it. Here, here, alternating, back and forth. Often, it's a little bit quicker and hoppy of a movement. You can take it as quickly or slowly as you need. So the last exercise is gonna be our monster walk. So what I mean by monster walk is we're gonna be in our squat stance, maybe slightly wider, depends on the person. We're gonna get as much depth as we can get while maintaining neutral spine, keeping our chest up. For most people, even if you squat all the way down, you're typically gonna be at parallel, maybe slightly above. That's great. Since we're working with limited space, what I'm gonna suggest is that you go forward and back 5 times. So for example, 1 step, 2 step, 1. 1 step, 2 step, 2. That was 2 reps. Take that to 5, then 3, then 2, then 1, or whichever number you're starting from. Here we go. Getting set on the burpees, 5 reps each. If you end up getting a little bit faster than me, that's terrific. You can keep rolling. If you wanna hang with me, that's also great. 3, 2, 1, 5 burpees. Finish the jump into the mountain climbers. Awesome. Next up, monster walks. Remember, forward and back is 1 rep. Squatting in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Going right into the 4. Minimal break. If you need to take a second, feel free to pause the video. Going into our burpees. Mountain climbers, 8 total. And monster walks. Great job. Right into burpees, 3 reps. Mountain climbers. Monster walks. Excellent. Back into the burpees. You got this. Come on. Mountain climbers, 4 each. 4 total, excuse me. Finish it quick here. 2, 1 of each, let's go. And last one. Excellent work, y'all. If you've got a moment, let's stick around, let's stretch together. What I'd recommend is if you need to, you can pause the video, walk for just a second, don't sit down, stay up, move. Allow your body to regulate itself, get some water, and then meet me back here in about 60 seconds and we'll go through some stretches. So what I'd like to see is if you can take a kneeling position with me, okay? Knee is on the floor here. We're very relaxed. And I want you to think about bringing the hips forward, think about bringing the bottom of your hips forward, and you're just gonna lean into this stretch, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer, but I'm gonna keep talking and give a couple other options to get this same stretch and maybe take it a little bit further. Timer's rolling. We're gonna hold this for about 60 seconds. So once we're here, you should feel a stretch right on the front of the thigh. Option 2 is bring our hands on the inside of our leg down to the floor. From here, I would just say get as low as you can. You can scoot this knee back, this back leg here, push your hands out, or bring your forearms to the floor directly in front of you. Whatever seems most appropriate right now based off how you're feeling. We're about halfway there. Let's just hang out. Make sure we keep breathing and really focusing on taking a full breath and a full exhale. About 20 seconds left. 2, and 1. Excellent. We're gonna stay on the same side, but feel free to come up and relax. I'm gonna change angles so you can see me a little bit better. So right now I'm still in this kneeling position. What I'm gonna do is whatever leg is in front, for me it's my left, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna push it out to the side, directly out to my side here. From there, I'm gonna sit back, okay? I'm gonna change angles again. I'm gonna sit back and push my hips to my ankle. From here, to increase the stretch, you're gonna feel it on the inside of your thigh. I'm gonna put my forearms on the floor or scoot my hands out. Really what I'm trying to do is get my chest closer to the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer now. Please join me in 2, 1. Again, focusing on your breathing, really relaxing into this position. If at any moment you need to come out of any of our stretches, please feel free to do so. Relax for a couple seconds, and if you can, join back in to finish out the time. About halfway there, y'all. Doing a great job. Try to sink a little bit deeper if you can. Couple seconds, and you can come up and relax again. Great job. So what's gonna happen now? Same leg, it's gonna go out in front of us. There's a couple options here. This will help with your comfort as well as change a little bit how you're feeling on the stretch. So I'm gonna take my heel and push it straight out in front. From here, I can simply bring my chest and my hands towards my foot, and that'll create a stretch in my hamstring or the bottom of my thigh. If you are on a comfortable surface and you would like, you can sit down onto your ankle and drop into the stretch here, or you can skip the kneeling position and join me on the floor here as well. Let's get right into the stretch. Single leg. If you're on the floor sitting, make sure this knee is as close to the ground as we can tolerate. We're focusing on bringing our chest towards the foot here. Really focusing on our breathing and relaxing into the position. Breathe in, almost there, y'all. About 10 more seconds. Great work, everyone. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna switch legs all together. So if you've been kneeling onto your right leg, you'll kneel onto your left and vice versa. I'm gonna put my right leg up front this time, and we're gonna shift, same thing, bringing the hips forward, come lean into the stretch, and then after that, you can place your hands on the floor if you'd like to increase the stretch at all. I'm gonna start the timer now, and here we go. Same as the other side. If you can scoot your hands out to get a little bit lower, or maybe put your forearms down, those are also options. Not uncommon, you might notice one side's a little bit different than the other. That's okay, that's what we're here for, is to work on it and try to get them a little bit more balanced. Whatever knee is on the floor should be scooted back and out from underneath you with this stretch. Something I always like to note for people. Great job, y'all. About 20 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Great job. Transition a little bit more quickly this time. Same leg that's out front. We're just gonna push it straight out to our side. From here, drop your hips back. Bring your chest closer to the floor to begin your stretch. Again, you should feel this on the inside of your thigh. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Getting our hands out away from us, but still on the floor to bring our chest closer to the ground. As always, if you need to come out of any of these stretches at any moment, please feel free to do so. Take a second, and if you can, join us back again. Halfway there. Few more seconds. 2, 1. Excellent job, y'all. So again, here's another option. Foot straight out, still kneeling. You can hinge over from here, sit down, hinge over, or you can join me on the floor. Again, figure fouring the leg that we're not stretching, allowing that knee to gently go towards the floor. Beginning the stretch in 3, 2, 1. Really trying to keep this knee straight, no matter what position you're in. Breathing, trying to become more comfortable in the position. Halfway there. Fifteen seconds. Two and 1. Great job, y'all. Got one more big stretch for you. This one utilizes a wall. You can use whichever object you need to supplement this. But what we're gonna do is work on stretching out the shoulder and the chest a little bit. So I'm thinking about placing my hand on the wall behind me. And as much as I can tolerate, I'm gonna bring my shoulder to the wall, allowing myself to rotate away from the wall, and you'll feel a stretching sensation come across the shoulder and the chest. I'm gonna use my timer again here, beginning our stretch in 3, 2, 1. As you breathe, try to become more relaxed into the position. Maybe you can get closer to the wall, rotate further away. No matter where you are, once you feel like you've hit the end range of motion, there's no need to push anymore. Just allow your body to relax into the position that you're in. Halfway there. Fifteen seconds. Two and 1. Excellent. Last stretch here, y'all. Switch sides. Other hand goes on the wall. You can turn around, find a different wall, different corner, whichever one you're using. Beginning our stretch in 3, 2, 1. 2, and 1. Great job, everyone. Again, as a reminder, if you would like, you can run this exercise back at any time. And the next time you try it, you can go with some of the different options that we provided. Maybe in the finisher, you extend it by a few different reps. Any of those options to progress the exercise and continue to have fun and stay active. Thank you.